Welcome to today's episode, where we'll be talking about something that affects so many people: anxiety. Whether it's something you experience every day or occasionally, anxiety can be tough to manage. So, today, we have an expert guest with us to dive into how we can better deal with it. Please welcome Jonathan, a therapist, who specializes in helping people cope with anxiety. Thank you for joining us, Jonathan.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here and have the chance to talk about this important topic.
Of course. So, let's jump right in. Anxiety is something a lot of us feel, whether it's stress over work, personal life, or just day-to-day worries. What exactly happens in our bodies and minds when we feel anxious?
Great question. When we feel anxious, our brain triggers what we call the fight or flight response, which is our body's natural reaction to perceived danger. This causes a surge of stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which prepare us to act quickly. However, in the modern world, these triggers are often not life-threatening, but our bodies still react as though they are. This can lead to symptoms like racing thoughts, a rapid heartbeat, or even sweating. And if these feelings persist, they can become overwhelming.
That makes a lot of sense. So, what are some ways to manage or reduce those intense feelings of anxiety when they arise?
One of the most effective tools we can use in the moment is breathing exercises. Slow, deep breaths can help calm the nervous system and send a signal to the brain that we're not in immediate danger. One technique I recommend is called the 4-7-8 method. You breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then exhale slowly for 8 seconds. Doing this for a few rounds can really help you center yourself.
That's such a simple technique, but it sounds really powerful. What about when anxiety starts to feel like it's building up over time, not just in the moment?
When anxiety becomes chronic, it's important to look at the bigger picture. Lifestyle changes can make a huge difference. For example, regular physical activity, like walking or yoga, can help reduce anxiety by releasing endorphins, which are natural mood lifters. Getting enough sleep and maintaining a balanced diet are also key, because physical health impacts mental health in a big way.
That's a good point. It's easy to forget that our bodies and minds are so connected. Are there any specific things that people can do to change their thought patterns around anxiety?
Yes, absolutely. One helpful approach is cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT focuses on identifying and challenging unhelpful thoughts. For example, if you're constantly thinking, "What if I fail?" or "What if something bad happens?" CBT teaches you to question those thoughts and replace them with more balanced, realistic ones. Over time, this can reduce the power anxiety has over you.
So it's about changing how we interpret situations, right? Not necessarily pretending that everything's fine, but just looking at things more realistically.
Exactly. It's about understanding that not every anxious thought is based on reality, and not every worst-case scenario will come true. Learning to reframe those thoughts can help you gain perspective and feel more in control.
That sounds really empowering. But what if someone feels like their anxiety is too much to handle alone? Are there ways to get more support?
Absolutely. Sometimes anxiety can feel overwhelming, and that's when reaching out for professional support is key. Therapy can be incredibly helpful, whether it's CBT, mindfulness-based therapy, or even just having a space to talk openly about your feelings. Support groups can also be a great way to connect with others who understand what you're going through. And, of course, there are medication options available for those who need them, but it's important to work with a doctor to find the right solution.
I love that you mentioned reaching out for support. It's so important not to suffer in silence. What about the role of mindfulness or meditation? I know that's something a lot of people are trying out these days.
Mindfulness and meditation are fantastic tools. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment, without judgment. This can help you break the cycle of ruminating thoughts, which is often at the heart of anxiety. Even just 5 or 10 minutes of meditation each day can help lower stress levels and increase overall well-being. Apps like Headspace or Calm offer guided meditations that can be really helpful for beginners.
I've heard a lot of people say meditation has helped them with both anxiety and general stress. And it's interesting because you don't need a lot of time to make a difference.
Exactly. Even small, consistent efforts can create lasting changes. Over time, these practices can help you build resilience against anxiety, so it doesn't take as much of a toll on your life.
Such great insights, Jonathan. Before we wrap up, what's one final piece of advice you'd offer to anyone watching who might be struggling with anxiety right now?
I would say, be kind to yourself. It's easy to feel frustrated or like you're not doing enough to manage your anxiety, but healing is a process. You're not alone in this, and it's okay to ask for help when you need it. Small steps can lead to big changes, and progress is progress, no matter how slow it might feel at times.
That's such an important message. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing all this valuable advice, Jonathan. I think a lot of people will feel comforted and empowered by what we've discussed.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to talk about ways to manage anxiety, and I hope this helps viewers find some peace of mind.
And thank you to all of you for watching. If you're struggling with anxiety, remember that help is available, and taking small steps can make a big difference. Until next time, take care of yourselves.